Hi everyone, it's Matt. So this weekend it's the Yorkshire Wildlife Trust's Great Creature Count, and so since we're spending a bit more time at home at the moment, they're encouraging people to get out into the gardens and become a bit more acquainted with what creatures are living there. So it's taking place between Saturday the 20th of June at 12 p.m. and Sunday the 21st of June at 12 p.m. So you've got 24 hours to try and count as many things as possible. And so I'm just going to do one at the allotment as a bit of an example. So first of all, I'm going to sit and listen to the birds and see what other birds I can see. I'm going to set up a few pitfall traps to see what insects I can find. I'm going to be looking under rocks and under logs to see what is living under there. I've got a pond, so I'm going to do a pond dip. And so there's lots of different ways you can find out what creatures live in your garden. So I'm going to start off by doing a bird count, and I'm going to note all the birds that I can see and all the birds that I can hear. And so I've got a notepad and pen, I've got my binoculars, and I'm going to just position myself in different places in the allotment just to make sure I've covered all bases. And yeah, let's see. This is my bird list so far. So I've seen some blackbirds, dunnocks, wrens, lots of swifts, heard some wood pigeons, I've had a few magpies, I've heard a few chaffinch, goldfinch, sparrow, and I even saw a ring-necked parakeet fly over. You might have seen Sally's video setting up a pitfall trap on her mini beast safari video. If not, I'd recommend watching that to see how you set one up. But I put up 3 last night, and so I'm going to see what we found. So I've emptied the pitfall traps into this tray, and this is what I got. So I think this is a stone centipede. There's some kind of ground beetle there. There's a few ways you can submit your record. So you can submit it to a national recording scheme, and so this will be specific for each animal group. So for example, for birds it'll be the British Trust for Ornithology. You can also submit it to your local record centre. So for Sheffield it'll be the Sheffield Biological Record Centre. But both that information goes up to the National Biodiversity Network, the NBN. Maybe an easy way to identify and submit any records that you've seen is through the app iRecord. Now this is an app that you can download onto your phone, and it was set up by the NBN, and all the records that you put on there goes directly to the NBN. On there's lots of people that can help identify what you're looking at, so it's a really useful tool if you're not really sure what you found. I set up this wildlife cam last night, so I'm going to take it back home and download the images and see what creatures it caught. I'm lucky enough to have a pond, so I'm going to do a little pond dip and see what I can find in there. So this is what I found in the pond. So as you can see, there's lots and lots of tadpoles, but we've also got some flatworms and we've got some freshwater shrimp as well as hog louse. Just did another pond dip and I found a newt, and I didn't know I had newts in my pond, so it's always worth doing a good check. And this is a smooth newt because it has spots on its belly, unlike the palmate newt. It's been a bit wet this morning, but it's starting to heat up and dry up as well. And this has brought out all the bumblebees. And as you can see, I'm participating in No More May. And I might just continue to not mow as well, because it's brought out all these lovely plants, including this woundwort, which is really beautiful and is an important nectar source for all these foraging bees. And hiding under this log is a little frog. Sometimes if you upload something to iRecord and you're not sure what it is, it can sit on there and not be identified for some time. In those instances, I'd recommend using iSpot, and that's something I use quite regularly, and it will upload it to their site, and there's a whole community of people that will help identify what you're looking at. After that, you can then put that identification into iRecord once you have a bit more certainty of what you think it is.
I've set up a little feeding station for butterflies, which is just some honey and some water, and there's a little bit of fruit in there as well, just to attract any feeding insects.
So there we have it. I've taken lots of pictures today. I've uploaded them all to iRecord. Some of them I could identify, some of them I couldn't. So hopefully someone on there will be able to identify them for me. So just remember to tag in the project, the Great Yorkshire Creature Count, so your records can be added to that project. Have fun!